Hey guys, welcome to the video. Salt here. Today we're going to be taking a look at the primary weapon, the Braton Prime Incarnon. Now in this weapon series, I take a weapon, I build it out, and I test that weapon on its own merits, meaning I don't mix it with any kind of external factors that would increase weapon performance. That would be things like Warframe is using abilities, pets putting statuses on enemies, things like that. I just test the weapon, built out by itself, and I let the viewer make their own intelligent conclusions about what happened if you add those external things. So let us get into the Braton Prime Incarnon. So it is a little automatic assault rifle, pretty basic automatic assault rifle. And the Incarnon mode is also a little automatic assault rifle as well. The difference is that the Incarnon mode, it's going to shoot slightly slower, but it's going to explode on hit. So it's going to have like a 3-meter radial range. Okay, let's get into the Braton Prime build here. The other interesting thing about the Braton Prime is with the Incarnon mode, those radial explosions also have heat added to their element chart. So it's possible that they produce heat. Okay, that's pretty much all the interesting things about the Braton Prime. I don't think there's any other weird interactions there. So let's get into the mods. We're going to be using Galvanized Chamber for multi-shot, Galvanized Scope for critical chance, Hunter Munitions is going to be giving us a slash proc 30% of the time on a critical, Prime Shred is going to give us a 55% fire rate and 2.2 punch through. Prime Shred is going to be the best fire rate mod in this slot because you also get punch through out of it, which is absolutely amazing. But it's a login reward, so not everyone's going to have Prime Shred, and that's okay. If you don't have Prime Shred, your other option is going to be Vial Acceleration. So with Vial Acceleration, you lose out on the punch through, but you actually get some more fire rate. So you get 90 fire rate instead of 55, but you don't have punch through, which does kind of suck. And that's why Prime Shred is better. But it's going to shoot faster than Prime Shred, so you get a little bit extra of something at least with Vial Acceleration. Alrighty, let's keep going. So we're going to have Critical Delay for our critical chance mod. It adds also some negative fire rate, but you don't notice it too much on this weapon, so it's fine. The 200% crit chance is very good. Crit damage is going to be next for the mod. It's going to be Vital Sense to add that crit damage. And then we're going to be making Viral. And we're going to use the 60/60 Toxin. And then the Primed Cryo Round for the cold mod. Now, there's two options here. And they both have like their merits. You can go with both 60/60. So instead of Primed Cryo Rounds, you can actually go with the 60/60 cold. I think it's called Rime Rounds. Let me just double check. Rime Rounds. So Rime Rounds is going to make it quicker to get up to your 10 stacks of Viral. That's going to be probably better on like medium-sized enemies that don't die immediately, but maybe would die too quick before they get up to the 10 stacks of Viral. But Primed Cryo Rounds is probably going to be better in almost all other circumstances. It's going to be better against like the trash enemies that die like almost too quickly, and it's going to be better against the bigger enemies that are going to be at 10 stacks of Viral regardless because it takes a little bit too long to kill them, like Eximuses. And it's just because in the Braton Prime's case, it has a good enough status chance. So even without both 60/60s, I mean, you're still looking at a 41% status chance. That's really good. So you don't technically need both 60/60s on here. So you can go with a little bit extra damage from Prime Cryo Rounds. But if you don't have Prime Cryo Rounds, don't feel bad. Put Rime Rounds on. It's probably very close because Rime Rounds does make you get to that 10 stack of Viral quicker, which means that you get to your maximum damage potential quicker. So they're both super close. But if you had the option for both of them, I think Prime does beat it out. Okay, let's go to the Eximus here. Okay. We're going to be using Vigilante Supplies for the Exilus mod. It's going to be converting some of our secondary ammo into primary pickup. And it's going to give us a 5% chance to enhance critical hits from primaries. So it's going to boost like yellow crits to oranges, orange crits to red. And actually something I'm not 100% sure, and if you know on the comments, please let me know. I think it may also increase red crits to the next tier, which would be red crit with an exclamation point. And I only say that because on testing, I'm getting a lot of red crits with exclamation points. And I don't think I should be getting that many as what I'm getting. So I think they're coming from Vigilante Supplies, but I'm not really sure. So if you know for sure on that, let me know in the comments, and that way we all know. Okay. The other option, though, for the Exilus is going to be, where is it? Stabilizer. So I don't need Stabilizer, and it's because in one of the evolutions for the Braton Prime, I'm going to be picking weapon recoil, or negative weapon recoil, I should say. But if you choose not to pick negative weapon recoil when we get to that evolution slot, you probably do want to use Stabilizer in your Exilus slot here, because this weapon does have some recoil. And actually, one option of negative recoil doesn't completely eliminate it. You know, if you just use Stabilizer, there's still a little bit of recoil left over, which I think is okay. If you just use the evolution like I'm doing, there's still a little bit of recoil left over, which is also okay. If you chose to go with primary Deadhead instead of Merciless, you get some negative weapon recoil, but there's still a little bit left over, which is okay. You just need one. You need one, and it becomes good enough. Okay. So in the Arcane slot, we're going to be using primary Merciless. So there's two options here. There's primary Merciless and primary Deadhead. Now, I love Deadhead. If I can get consistent headshot kills on enemies like an early Steel Path, I'll usually use primary Deadhead over primary Merciless because the stacks last longer. But this weapon deals a lot of heavy slash damage. And when enemies die from slash damage, they don't count as a headshot kill. And so it's actually kind of hard to keep primary Deadhead stacked. So in this case, we're going to be using primary Merciless on this weapon. So Merciless and Deadhead both give 360 flat damage increase. So like the actual flat damage is the same. It's just the time on the stacks and how long they last. But the little extras are different too, though. So like primary Merciless, we get some reload speed, which is really nice. That's cool. So that's why we're using that for the Arcane. I think that's pretty much it for the mods on the Braton. So now we're going to be getting into the evolutions. Okie dokie. First evolution is that you've unlocked the Incarnon mode. Congratulations. Second evolution is where you actually have a choice. And both of these are good. So I'm going to be using Munitions Grit. It increases my base damage. Now base damage is quite good because everything scales off base damage. So it increases base damage by +2. And then multi-shot consumes ammo directly from capacity. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it'll be sucking your capacity ammo instead of your magazine ammo multi-shot. And it increases damage by +54%. That 54% is multiplicative, so it's very powerful. But don't let that, just because it's multiplicative, don't let that like make you think that Munitions Grit is the only way to ever go. Because when we talk about like multiplicativity on weapons, like with other weapons, usually if a weapon with a galvanized condition overload mod is multiplicative and it's producing like maybe like let's say 2 unique statuses, like that's 160%, and at that point it's usually like just good enough to use. Well, this is only 54%, so this is even less than that. So it's still very powerful, but just don't think that, you know, the other option is not valid just because this is multiplicative, because it is only +54%. But it's still quite nice though. So Munitions Grit, +2 base, +54% multiplicative, and you get +20% multi-shot, which is absolute garbage tier. +20 multi-shot is basically nothing. But the multiplicativity is really what you're getting here. Now the other one, Daring Reverie. This one I think is actually better than the first one, Munitions Grit, but there is conditionals required tied to this one. So it increases your base damage. Again, base damage is awesome. Everything is scaled off of base damage. Increases base damage by +4. And with a channeled ability active, you also get more base damage by +38. And you get +50% ammo efficiency. That's nice, but don't really care about the ammo efficiency. So this is +44 base damage. That's really, really powerful. But you have the conditional where you need to have a channeled ability active. Not every Warframe is going to have a channeled ability. Some channeled abilities don't actually count as full channeled abilities. So abilities like Gloom, like the popular ones, really, right? Like Gloom. God, I think there's another popular one that was just in my head and I forgot it. Oh yeah, Necros's desk crate that he runs around with. Like those they look like channeled abilities, and I guess they technically are, but they don't suck energy all the time. They only suck energy when things are close to you. And so this won't really be working all the time with those. You actually have to have like a full channeled ability where things are sucking energy all the time. So if you have a Warframe that has an actual channeled ability, then I think Daring Reverie could be better than Munitions Grit. But because it has that conditional, I'm going to be doing the video with Munitions Grit. But they're both very strong. Second option here for the third evolution slot, I'm going to be going for increased accuracy and reduced recoil, because that way I don't have to use a reduction, recoil reduction mod. Sorry, I can't get my words out today. But the other options, let's look at the first one here, increases ammo capacity to 1,125. That's okay, especially since we're like using the one that like sucks some of our ammo because of the multi-shot stuff. But I don't feel like you super need it. And then the same thing here with Gunsmoke pickup. On a punch-through hit, you get 20% chance for 10% ammo restored. Again, that's okay because we're using the first evolution that like sucks some of our ammo pool from multi-shot. But again, I don't think you super need it. I think the better options is Void's Guidance. And then it basically saves you from using a mod slot or having to use Deadhead to get that reduced recoil. Fourth evolution slot, and this is going to be the spicy one that people are probably going to talk about. So I'm going to be using Critical Parallel. It's pretty simple. Just gives plus 18% crit chance. It's pretty nice. And increases my crit damage by plus 0.2 times. Very simple. It works. It's very good. Now let's look at the one that is kind of controversial here. Prelude of Might. The whole reason, so this Braton was suggested for me to make a video about a while ago. And the reason it's taken so long is because I had to do so much research and testing with Prelude of Might. And it was an absolute nightmare headache. There's no good information on Prelude of Might. There are people saying one thing on forums. There are other people saying another thing. Some people say the only thing that matters is your non-Incarnon critical chance, and that when you go into Incarnon, it still retains its effect. And then there are probably more people saying that does not happen, and that it needs to be under 50% critical chance for both the non-Incarnon and the Incarnon. And then there are people that are there's like a third set of people that are just saying it does not work at all. It just is absolutely broken. I don't really like this. I don't like Prelude of Might. So you need to have a critical chance below 50%. Well, this weapon, the way I'm building it, is going to be red critting. It's actually, in fact, going to be doing past red crits. It's going to be doing red crits with an exclamation point. And it has a good crit damage already. So what does Prelude of Might do? Prelude of Might makes us have to build this as a yellow crit build. And not even a good yellow crit build. It has to be a 50% yellow crit build. So we're getting 50% whites and 50% or 50% yellow crits. And then the yellow crits at that point would have very high crit damage because of the multiplier. But I don't know. I think it's kind of garbage. I think the only way this is good, and I was trying to test it, and I really couldn't find a great way to test it even. I think the only way this is good is if it acts in almost like a way that is not said on its thing there. If that the non-Incarnon has to be under 50%, but the Incarnon can be past 50%, right? Because then you can still use like galvanized crosshairs and stuff, or whatever the critical chance mod is. But I don't know. It's just such a mess with people saying one thing and then the other thing, and some people say it's not working. I think at the end of the day, critical parallel is just works and it's better. It works and it's better. Simple. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do all these mental gymnastics to try to explain why it could be better than critical parallel. So we're just using critical parallel here. Okay. Third one, Survivor's Edge. This is not good. This is not good enough. We don't need any more status chance because we have a viral slash build. We don't need to have like crazy status chance, so we don't need that. And then the crit chance is less than what we get for critical parallel. So that's why we're going with the critical parallel. All right, and I think that is it for the evolutions there. That's it for the build for the Braton. So because I'm going to be doing this with no externals, I'm going to be doing this on a big dumb Inaros with no Archon shards that increase weapon performance, no arcanes or mods on the Inaros that increase weapon performance, and with a pet with no sentinel weapon and no mods on the pet that increase weapon performance. So that should be about it. I think we can get into the gameplay here. We'll do a 10-minute Steel Path Kuba Survival. Show this thing off. I apologize if I'm a little bit nasally today. I'm not feeling very well. I think I'm a little bit sick. All right, so in this gameplay, I'm only going to be using my 3 button to give myself armor and status immunity. So nothing else that's going to affect gameplay. Alrighty. Now the non-Incarnon should be mostly, like once we get our conditionals up, it should be mostly an orange crit build. And then the Incarnon is going to be red crits. And the non-Incarnon can also get red crits. You just have to be at full scope stacks. This is a very powerful weapon. So you can tell when we're not in Incarnon, it's going to be oranges, and when we're in Incarnon, it's going to be reds, and even reds with some exclamation points. Oh my goodness! Can't get your words out, Salt. I'm going to blame it on maybe being a little bit sick today. I'm not really sure. I don't feel super sick other than being tired and being super cold. I'm actually at my computer right now doing this video with a blanket over my head like I'm a little 90-year-old woman. Or Yoda. I'm going to go with Yoda instead of the 90-year-old woman. So it actually fills the Incarnon pretty easily. It's not one of the weapons that like requires like a crap load of headshots. It fills pretty quickly. So even I feel like even if you're not great at headshot kills, like I mean, it's like half a magazine. This thing is full. And the slash procs are pretty crazy on this, so you should be pretty easily able to deal with like eggs misses and things. Yes, this weapon was such a headache because of that stupid evolution slot. I know it's a popular evolution slot, and that's why I didn't want to go into this not using the evolution slot without like some kind of explanation. We have the Acolyte coming in. Acolyte should be pretty easy for us to deal with. Acolyte's dead. It's a very good Acolyte killer. It's hard to compare ranged weapons with melee weapons. You really shouldn't when it comes to Acolyte killing. Melee weapons are always going to be stronger on Acolyte killing, so... But for a ranged weapon, this is a very good Acolyte killer. This is definitely like well above average for an Acolyte killer for a ranged weapon. Melee is just on another tier for Acolyte killing. You just like whack the Acolyte twice and they're dead with melee. You could use the weakest melee weapon and do that. Alright, we're at 5 minutes. We got a 5 more minutes left, and then we'll be done. My cat Dobby is coming over. He wants attention. He doesn't know I'm doing a video. He just sees me over here with a blanket over my head, looking like Master Yoda. Would you like to say anything, Dobby, for the stream? Usually Dobby's very vocal. He starts screaming randomly. And a lot of times I have noise-canceling headphones. I won't realize he's screaming until I review the video. And I just start hearing like, meow, in the background. I think he did it like twice in the Focus School video. I'm like, what is that in the background? It sounds like a freaking cow giving birth or something. Oh, it's freaking Dobby screaming. All right, we got about 3 minutes left, and then we'll do the next test, which is going to be the Lewis circulates. I increased my my particle graphics up, but I think I might actually reduce them because it's a little bit distracting. Shooting dudes, and there's like a bunch of little fizzlies going around them. Oh, that's not my weapon. Where's... Where'd my weapon go? There it is. So we haven't had to hit a life support yet. We're getting a little bit low, though. We are at like 46, so maybe if I get lucky here, we can get some yellows plopping up. Yeah, that's something I didn't know, though, with Vigilante Supplies. Does Vigilante Supplies only upgrade yellow to orange, orange to red? Or does it go past that? Does it go red to red plus? Which would be the little exclamation point if you don't know. Or red plus to red plus plus. Which is the 1 exclamation point to 2 exclamation points. All right, here comes the Acolyte. I probably should like at least hit 1. I don't know. Angst. Oh, I should have my status immunity up because this weapon does have a 3 meter radial, so you can stagger yourself. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back and farm some more kills. Got to get these kill counts up. That way, when we do the next tier list, the Braton will be sitting on top. I think it should be sitting on top. Over a lot of weapons, not over some of the most powerful Incarnons. Like the Torrid is still way better than the Braton, but the Braton is really, really good. It should be sitting on top of most weapons in the game. Got my weapon stolen, of course, as is tradition. Got 45 seconds left. I think we'll be okay, Lotus. What we got? We got 30 seconds, 20% life support. We'll be fine to get to 10 minutes with that. So when I do these runs, weapons that I consider average are usually hitting 350 to 450 kills in 10 minutes. But this is going to be an above average weapon, of course. Probably way more than above average. So 3 seconds. Let's see what our kill count is in a second here. All right. So we're at 750 kills. That's amazing. And we will have to find the exit. That's the real test of Cougar survival, is trying to figure out where the hell to go. Oh, I just saw it. I just saw the marker. I think it was upstairs. I think it was upstairs to the left here. Yep. All right, so 750 kills in 10 minutes. That is very, very good. I think what I had, though, on my tier list to be considered a meta weapon was 800 and over. So this probably wouldn't hit the meta list then, unfortunately. It would probably be like in the excellent tier, which is what I had for weapons that were just under 800 kills. Which I guess is understandable. It's a very powerful weapon, but it doesn't beat some of the most powerful Incarnons. And I mean, there was also non-Incarnons in the meta list too. There's some very powerful non-Incarnate weapons, like the Aku Core. I think was number 2, right underneath the Torrid. All right, let us queue up that Lua Circulus. So Lua Circulus is going to be higher level enemies, so 180 to 200. Conjunction survival. Actually, it says 203. Oh, no, that's because it's the fissure. Okay. We'll do the non-fissure. But it's going to be 180 to 200. It's going to be mixed enemies, so not just all Grenier. And it's going to force me to fight Thraxes, which are kind of like Super Eximuses. So let's start this up here. And this will be our last and final test for the Braton Prime. Oh my goodness, I'm stuck on stuff.
American neural sentry is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
Yeah, so I'm using new equipment now when I'm streaming. So feel free to criticize, good or bad. You know, I don't care. I want the feedback. I want the feedback. Tell me, you know, video quality is garbage and you need to improve it, or audio quality is garbage, you need to improve it, or it's better, or it's worse, or it's about the same. I'm also going to be messing with the thumbnails, so the thumbnails might look different. Let me know if you like it, if you hate it, if you don't give a shit. Just tell me. Tell me what you think. You know, this is a group effort here. I am a pretty like naive to technology kind of guy, so it takes me a really long time to learn how to do these things. So I'm probably not doing everything amazing right off the bat. You know, like my OBS literally took me... yesterday was the first video I did in OBS, and the audio was screwed up, and it took me from the morning until 4:20 at night to figure out why the audio was screwed up. And it was because my compressor was... messing with the audio. It was like cutting the audio out. But the entire day I thought it was the game music, because it sounded like the game music that was cutting. It didn't sound like it was my microphone, but it was my microphone. It was cutting out the very beginnings and ends of certain words. Well, of like most words, honestly. So I completely took my compressor off. I'll probably put that on again, but I just wanted to take it off completely, maybe throw out a couple of videos without it, see how it was, and then do a couple videos with it actually fixed and not being too weird, and then kind of compare them and see. So on Lewis Circulus, it's normal to get a little bit less kills because the hallways are wider, so like a punch-through weapon is not all of a sudden god tier just because you have a narrow hallway, like in Kuva's Survival. So that's why it's normal to get a little bit less kills. And you spend more time fighting big dudes like Thraxes when they come up. So, but you are only expecting to get about 100 kills less. So if we got 750 in the first one, we're kind of expecting to get about 650 in this one. And even though these are wider hallways, you still want to try to make punch through work as well as it can. So you want to try to be positioning yourself to hit multiple targets at once to make that punch through have its most effect. All right, looks like we're getting an Acolyte, pretty early Acolyte, which I like. That way we don't have to fight them while Thraxes are up. Should probably put my armor and status immunity on. All right, he's down. Perfect. We got 45 seconds till Thraxes. All right, I'm going to hit a few life supports, make sure we're kind of topped off before we get Thraxes coming. They're going to be coming in about 10 seconds. Oh my goodness, press X. Oh.
The longer you hold out, the deeper I can search. But you need to leave. Extraction is
Right. The slash procs probably finished in there.
risk the unfathomable. I feel we are
Oh, I never took my amp off from the video yesterday. I still have that stupid burst fire amp. I mean, it's not weak. It's pretty good. I actually sometimes like it better than the Raplac because my aim is horrible. And the Raplac, you kind of get punished for missing your shots. The Raplac's really strong, though. If you have good aim, Raplac's like the best. If you don't have good aim... There's another really good one. I think it's called the Clamora, or K, something with a K. Raplac and that one are considered the best. That one, you don't really need to have good aim, because that's like a big flamethrower-ish kind of weapon. It's like a beam flamethrower. It's not technically a flamethrower. There is an amp that is an actual flamethrower. That one's not very good. But the one with a K, it is kind of like a flamethrower, but it's like more of like an energy beam flamethrower. Kind of like the Furus, actually. Yeah. Like the Furus Incarnon. I don't use it a lot. I use the Raplac mostly, but I probably should use that one because my aim is horrible. Weapon was stolen, as is tradition. Let's get some status immunity up here. And get that guy down before he steals our weapon again. As you notice, I'm trying to position myself in ways where the enemies are kind of forced to line up to me. So that's how you want to play a punch-through weapon. So even in a map where it's a little bit more open, there are ways to kind of trick the AI to move in a line, especially like around corners and stuff. Go and hit those. I'm probably going to have to hit all three of them. It doesn't know what kind of music track it wants to give me. It's changed like 3 times now. Angst coming. We've gotten really lucky on Acolytes. We got Torment and Angst on both runs. Those are like the easiest guys. I'm usually not lucky. I'm usually getting Mania and Malice like every single video. Mania or Malice first, and then Mania or Malice is the second one, whatever I didn't get on the first. All right, we got Thraxes. This will be the last set of Thraxes we fight.
These manifestations is not going to allow the foothold on the Moab. Life support is at risk. Destroy
It's one gone. And that is 2 gone. Okay. So we're at 686 kills. Pretty consistent to what I was saying. About 100 less. It's a little bit less than 100, which is nice. So 686 in 10 minutes. Let's head to Extraction there. And that'll be it for the Braton Prime. It's a good little weapon, though. Very easy to get. It's very cheap. The Incarnon mode, of course, is a little bit of a process to get the Incarnon. For anyone that's done Incarnon, you kind of understand. You have to wait for it to become available in the circuit. You got to run circuit. You have to get it. Then you have to get the resources for it and the Pathos clamps. And that could be a bit of a headache. The actual Braton itself is cheap as hell. I think you could probably buy it from the market for like 8 to 10 plat for an entire set. The weapon by itself, without the Incarnate, is still okay. Like, it's still a pretty good weapon. It's a basic little assault rifle, but with the Incarnate, it's even better. So that is the Braton Prime right there. Definitely worth building out. If you liked it, guys, consider giving it a like. If you haven't subbed yet, consider subbing or tell me what I can do to earn your sub. And thanks for watching, guys. All right, bye.